All right, guys, looky there. That is Pico de Gallo. Now, Pico de Gallo is just really super tasty. It's a wonderful grouping of ingredients that can be added to so many dishes. And it doesn't have to be Mexican dishes. You can put this with a lot of stuff, guys. You can put it with roast pork. You can put it with chicken. You can put it with all kinds of dishes. It just works well. Okay, so don't think of this as a Mexican dish. Think of this as a side dish slash condiment that can be worked in to multiple different dishes. It really can. Now, guys, this is super easy to make. There's only a few ingredients, and it's not hard to do. So let's get in the kitchen, and let's get busy making some Pico de Gallo. Come on. Hey guys, it's time that we make this beautiful Pico de Gallo. I've got some tomatoes back here. I recommend 2 to 3 for this recipe. Also about 3 good-sized jalapenos, 1 medium onion, some cilantro. You're going to want anywhere from 2 tablespoons to 1/4 of a cup of chopped cilantro or cilantro leaves. And then anywhere from 2 tablespoons to 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice and some salt. All of these cut up the right way, combined in a bowl, mixed together, and then boom, you've got Pico de Gallo. Let's do that real quick. All right, guys, let's make this. Now, there's one extra item I think that we need, and that's a spoon. So what I want to show you here, let's start with the cilantro. If you want, you can chop up your cilantro, or you can just pick the leaves like I'm doing here. You can do it either way you want. But be careful, you don't want a big old chunk of stem just like that. All right, that's kind of nasty to get down into your Pico de Gallo. So just pick those leaves off. This is not a hard task. Now, I like doing it this way because when I make Pico de Gallo and when I'm eating Pico de Gallo, I like to look down into that and see those items and to know those little green flakes are exactly what I'm hoping they are, which is cilantro. And as I said, anywhere from a couple of tablespoons to 1/4 of a cup of cilantro leaves. There we have it. Now, the next thing I want to show you here is on these. When you go to cutting these down for your Pico de Gallo, right? After we open them up, you have this core of seeds in there. Now, this part, not really needing that part, so I'm just going to get rid of it, okay? Boom, right out of the way. Now, let's take this and the spoon, and let's just drag that spoon right through the core of it. If you'll notice, the spoon, I tore it a little bit, but that spoon will take all of that out of there. Let me do the other side. There we go. And that makes removing the core and the seeds so much easier. And let me tell you a real truth about this. Once you've done that right there, you've also extracted easily about 85 to 90% of the heat of that chili. So if you want to make your Pico de Gallo a little milder, this little trick is the one that's going to get you there. In a moment, we're going to dice up those chilies, the jalapenos. But I want to show you this. On these tomatoes, I've got a couple of large Romas here. If you want, when you're opening these things up, all you need to do is just extract that pulp and the core, that part right there. And I find it easy to do this in the sink, and it just washes all of that out, okay? So that's what I want to do to each of these. I want to do it at the sink like I mentioned, and then dice up what's left. Okay, now when it comes time to cut your chilies, you guys are going to find that turning the chili with the skin side out makes it considerably easier to cut through the skin itself, because unless your knife is really sharp, it's not going to want to cut through that outer skin. Now, my knife is impeccably sharp, as in like a razor or sharper, so it's not an issue for me. Now what I'm trying to do is to cut these into little 1/4 inch or no wider than 1/4 inch strips, but roughly 1/4 inch wide.
And in a little bit, I'm going to dice it, and it's going to give me a beautiful size jalapeno dice. All right, now all of that goes into the same bowl with my cilantro. And again on these, I don't need wide cuts, no wider than 3/8 of an inch, okay? Because it's going to make a beautiful dice at that size. All right, our tomato right down in that bowl. And our next item is going to be that onion. Folks, this is as easy as, let's take off the top. Let's cut out that outer layer. It often has a very thin part on it, and you just want to remove that. Now we have our onion with that outer layer removed. You can see that cut line I first made. Now what I want to do on this is I'm going to take it and half it straight down that middle, okay? Set that aside. On this, when you're cutting an onion, and this is the way a lot of really good chefs do this, you know, it's three-dimensional, so you need to make cross cuts for the side edges here. And that's this cut right here. I'll do that once more. Remember, keep those fingers together on top and cut away from yourself, for goodness sake. This is an advanced technique, but it's also the best way to get perfect onion slices. Now after we've done that, we left it attached at the root. We're going to make cuts downward, okay? Just like so. If you get a piece that jumps out on you, hey, guess what? It's not an issue, okay? Because we're going to take this and we're going to cross cut it. And look at those beautiful, perfect dice. There we go. The absolute right size and shape. And it was so easy to do when we cut the onion the right way, with very little waste. A couple of longer pieces there. So we have a beautiful mixture of vegetables there. Now we just need to season it, and our Pico De Gallo is ready to enjoy. Okay guys, now we need to get our lemon juice in there. This can be lime juice also. What that does is it provides a little more acid, a little bit of liquid, and brings in together a beautiful marriage. Now I'm going to put in anywhere from 1/2 to 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. All right, and there we have it. All I have to do now is stir. Now guys, other than what's flying out of my bowl, we have a beautiful combination here and a wonderful, wonderful Pico de Gallo. Every once in a while you want to take your Pico de Gallo and just kind of push the ingredients up on the side, grab the juice from the bottom with a spoon and spoon it up over the rest of the Pico de Gallo, and that way you keep that everything marinated well. All right, that's all there is to it. Oh yeah, get that marinated. Yes. Now folks, as I mentioned earlier, Pico de Gallo, wonderful addition to other dishes. It's the kind of thing where you should really want to just eat it with a chip. If it's that good, what it's going to do for the other foods, magnificent. You can take pretty much any wonderful dinner, put a small pile of Pico de Gallo on the side of the plate. It's going to enhance that meal. So simple. Banging perfect. A little acid, a little salt. Beautiful harmony of ingredients that explode in your mouth. Folks, thank you. Thank you for watching this episode.
of Texas Cooking Today, for watching Texas Cooking Today. If you would, please click the subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and click that like button. Those things really help me out. Drop some comments, suggestions, questions right down below. If you have a request, you'd be surprised. I answer a lot of those with a recipe. And folks, please check out my channel. And one last thing, if you would, please just have a good day. Folks, you have a good day. Bye-bye.